Matt Sparks going to roll off heat race number 1. Your race lineup going to look like this. On the inside of the front row, driving the 88, that's Andrew DeVries. Outside the front row, the 68 is Mark Vance. Second row on the inside, the 89 of TK Whitman. On the outside, the 42 of Flying Brian Ross. Third row inside, the 28 of Sean Amor. And on the outside, the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. Rounding out the field, driving the 6X, that is Corey Pressler. Seven cars getting set and ready to go 8 laps in heat race number 1. Tony Eldridge going to set him on their final pace lap. DeVries in France. Going to bring him to green flag racing off of turn 4, this time by. Green flag. Racing is underway in the Monty Tire Late Model Division right here in the New Paris Speedway. Andrew DeVries squirts out to the quick race lead. TK Whitman now battles inside the 68 of Mark Vance for that second position. Dirty D, Andrew DeVries leads lap number 1. Here comes TK Whitman. Whitman has moved to second, looking for more. Sean Amor now works the inside of the 68 of Mark Vance off turn number 4. Here comes your quick timer, the 6X of Corey Pressler. Pressler now to the inside, looking for the top 5 position. Trying to move into the 4th spot. This time by, 3 laps in, 5 to go. DeVries still your race leader. TK Whitman holding down the 2nd spot. Sean Amor 3rd. Pressler 4th, Vance 5th. Bobby Strimmy now looks to the inside of Vance off at turn 4. Halfway up, halfway home. DeVries still in command of this one. Strimmy again to the inside of the 68 of Mark Vance. The Shoot Chuck racing entry, the 6X of Corey Pressler looks to the high line to go around Sean Amor for the 3rd spot. DeVries has company. TK Whitman all over his back bumper. This time by, white flag flies. DeVries, Whitman, Amor, and Pressler, your top 4. DeVries pulls a little bit on the field as he turns off of turn 4 for the checkered flag. Close race for 2nd. Your top 5 going to look like this. Coming home 5th, the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. 4th to the 6X of Corey Pressler. 3rd to the 28 of Sean Amor. 2nd to the 89 of TK Whitman. Coming home the victor in heat race number 1. The 88 being driven by Andrew DeVries. All 9 competitors making the call for heat race number 2 in your Monty Tire Late Models. Your field going to shake down like this. On the inside of the front row in the 20X, that's Bryce Schaefer. On the outside in the 20, that's Cy Sharp. Second row inside, the number 9 of Hot Rod, Rodney Spencer. And on the outside, the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. Third row inside, the 68 of Jason Howard. On the outside, the 23 of Jacob Maynard. Fourth row inside, driving the 5, that's Eddie Santora. On the outside, the 40, that's Donnie Klotz. Rounding out the field, driving car number 9, that is Kenny Whitman. 9 cars set and ready to go 8 laps in heat race number 2 for the Monty Tire Late Models. 18 cars strong tonight. Should be a great feature. The Tommy Peters own number 20s will start on the front row. Problems for the 68 of Jason Howard. Howard taking it pit side. This time by, Tony Elder's going to set him on their final pace lap. Schaefer and Sharp on the front row. Spencer and Maynard, row 2. Light goes off. Green flag. Racing underway in heat race number 2. Cy Sharp and Ron Maynard shoot out to the early race lead. Maynard looks to the inside of Sharp down the billboard backstretch. Thinks better of it. Jacob Maynard in a 23 has moved himself to the 3rd spot all the way from the back. Here comes the pretty boy Kenny Whitman. Whitman in a 9. Now running 4th. Maynard goes to the high line, making his move for the race lead. Sharp not giving up on the inside, fights back. Maynard again on the high line, trying to make his bid for the top spot. Jacob Maynard also on the top shelf. Ron Maynard Jr. has taken over the race lead. Second, now a battle between the youngster Jacob Maynard and the 20 of Cy Sharp. Maynard using the outside line to his advantage, keeping his momentum up. Maynard has moved into second. Here comes the 9 of Kenny Whitman. Whitman now into 3rd. Hot Rod Rodney Spencer uses the top shelf. He's trying his shot to go around the 20 of Cy Sharp for the 4th position. Jacob Maynard goes high, trying to find the line around the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. 5 laps in, 3 to go. Maynard, your race leader. Here comes the 9 of Kenny Whitman. Whitman is to the inside of the 23 of Jacob Maynard, looking for the race lead off turn 4. Whitman slices, dices, goes to the high line. Now he's outside the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. Whitman going to move the number 9 into the top spot off of turn 4 this time by. White flag waves for Kenny Whitman. Jacob Maynard again pursuing the 2nd position, trying to go to the outside to clear the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr., but it's not going to happen. This time by off turn number 4, checkered flag flies for the number 9 of Kenny Whitman. Coming home 5th, the number 9 of Hot Rod Rodney Spencer. 4th to the 5 of Eddie Santora. 3rd, the 23 of Jacob Maynard. 2nd, the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. And picking up heat race number 2, driving the number 9, the pretty boy Kenny Whitman. Matt Sparks going to roll him off. Tonight's fast heat going to look like this. On the inside of the front row, driving the 29, that's Austin Maynard. On the outside, driving the 14, that's Rob Smith. 2nd row inside, the 53S of Lou Strimian. On the outside, the 17 of the bad boy, Bobby Schischler. 3rd row inside, the number 10 of Nick Pressler. Outside, the 16 of Travis Slayball. 4th row inside, the 61 of Jason Slayball. On the outside, the 28 of Floyd Wood. And rounding out your field, fast qualifier on the day, driving car number 38, he is Daryl Click. 8 laps the distance for your fast 9 cars in the Pro Motor Street Stocks. Tony Eldridge puts them on their final pace lap. Dandy Randy Niles taking the night off, so Matt Sparks being graced by the presence of Tony Eldridge on the flag stand. Matt would like to remind you, if you have a Twinkie, Tony's looking for one. This time by off turn number 4. Green flag. We are racing in the Pro Motor Street Stock. Fast heat. Austin Maynard and Rob Smith on the front row doing battle for the race lead off of turn 2. Rob Smith with a slight advantage down the billboard backstretch. Maynard fighting back on the inside off of turn 4. Nearly a dead heat for the race lead. Smith again with the advantage off of turn 2, about a tire length. Austin Maynard really fighting back on the inside. What a great battle for the race lead. Side by side, door to door. First through fourth. Lou Strimmy now looks to the inside, trying to find a way around. Rob Smith starts to slip back just a little bit. Throw a blanket over the top 5. Nick Pressler's come to the party. Austin Maynard now moves into the race lead. Here comes the 53S of Lou Strimmy. Strimmy looking for the second spot. Smith starting to slip back a little on the outside. Here comes the number 10 playing some bumper tag. Quick Nick Pressler halfway up, halfway home. Smith loose down in 1 and 2. Strimmy will move into the second position. Pressler into the third. Here comes Jason Slabaugh in the 61. Slabaugh to the inside. He'll move himself into the number 4 spot. Austin Maynard continues to lead. 5 laps in, 3 to go. Strimmy holding up the bottom line, trying to find a way around the 29 of Austin Maynard. Pressler again continues to play bumper tag with the 53S. Caution coming out. Your second fastest qualifier on the day, Floyd Wood, spins around. Down in 3 and 4. Lineup looks good. Eldridge going to set him on their final pace lap this time by. White flag flies. Your race leader is the 29 of Austin Maynard. Second to the 53 of Lou Strimmy. The 10 of Nick Pressler. Holding down the third spot, Jason Slabaugh fourth, and rounding out your top 5, the 14 of Rob Smith. Maynard sets the pace off turn 4. Green flag. Back to racing. Pressler goes top shelf, trying to find a way around the 53 of Lou Strimmy. Nearly door to door, but Strimmy pulls him off at turn 2. Darrell Click rockets into the 5th position. Here comes the 17 of Bobby Schischler. Contact between the 14 of Smith and the 17 of Schischler. Schischler nearly in the wall. He's off the pace. Meanwhile, the 38 of Darrell Click looks to the inside of the 61 for the 4th position. White flag flies for the 29 of Austin Maynard. Pressler again goes high. He gets real loose. Click will move into the 3rd spot. Slabaugh looking to the inside, but Pressler going to close the door. This time off of 4, checkered flag flies. Picking up the heat race win, the 29 of Austin Maynard. Coming home 5th, the 61 of Jason Slabaugh. 4th to the number 10 of Nick Pressler. 3rd, the 38 of Darrell Click. 2nd to the 53S of Sweet Lou Strimmy. And picking up tonight's fast heat in the Pro Motor Street Stocks, the number 29 being driven by Austin Maynard. Austin Maynard picks up the fast heat in the Pro Motor Street Stocks. Is sponsored by Racer's Edge Tool Service, C&F Racing Machine, and Truck City. Eight cars making the call, set and ready to go, 8 laps. Your race lineup's going to look like this. On the inside of the front row, driving car number 79, that's Bruce Fernie Jr. On the outside, driving the 54, that's Randy Huffman. Second row inside, making a return to the 33 car, that's Steve Reed. On the outside, the 25 being driven by Michael Best. Third row inside, the number 1 Goshen Collision Center Special of Al Maurer. Outside, the 32 of Josh Summers. Rounding out your field, the 84 of Mike Prescott. And on the outside, a rookie contender in the street stock divisions, number 64 is Corey Kaiser. Tony sets them on their final pace lap, this time by Fernie and Huffman. Looking for green off turn 4. Green flag. Hoffman gets a good run down into turn 1, off of turn 2, 3 wide, off of turn 2. Steve Reed shoots to the inside. Fernie slipped up off the bottom. That opened the door. Steve Reed now looks for the second spot as they come to the flag, this time by lap number 1, led by Randy Hoffman. Hoffman, your race leader. Steve Reed second. Al Maurer now to the inside of Fernie for the third spot. Here comes the 84 of Prescott. Prescott, very impressive run. He started on the tail. Meanwhile, Al Maurer to the inside of the 33 of Stephen Reed. Hoffman, your race leader. Maurer trying to take the second spot and does off of turn 2. Meanwhile, Prescott does battle with the 33 of Steve Reed. Here comes Prescott to the inside of the number 1 of Al Maurer. Maurer going to work the high line, looking for the race lead into turn 2. Side by side, door to door, off down the billboard backstretch. Maurer with a slight advantage. Huffman fighting back. Halfway up, halfway home, this time by. Top 5 going to look like this. Hoffman and Maurer battle for the top 2 spots. Prescott third, the 32 of Summers fourth, and the 33 of Steve Reed fifth. Hoffman going to regain the top spot off at turn 4. What a battle for the race lead. Al Maurer and Randy Huffman side by side, door to door. That was a dead heat at the line. Hoffman pulls the advantage on Maurer down the billboard backstretch. Maurer fights back into turn 3. This time by, white flag's gonna fly. Prescott gives a little bump to the 54, trying to help him out. Meanwhile, here comes the number 1 of Al Maurer. Hoffman again tries to get the advantage. Maurer closes it back up. Keep your eyes off of turn 4, race fans. Checkered flag flies. Your top 5 going to shake down like this. Coming home 5th in the 33, he is Steve Reed. 4th to the 32 of Josh Summers. 3rd, the 84 of Mike Prescott. 2nd to the number 1 of Al Maurer. And picking up tonight's heat race number 2 in the Pro Motor Street Stocks. Put your hands together, race fans, for the 54 of Randy Huffman. Pretty good battle there between Hoffman and Maurer for the top spot. Huffman, the victor, being sponsored by Reed's Hoosier Horsepower, Troyer Foods, Maynard Fabrication, Sue Wirt Photography, and Diana. Your race lineup going to look like this. On the front row of the inside, the 6C of Doug Chilcutt. To his right door, the 123, the Spin Doctor, Tony Lynch. Second row inside, the 02 of the Asphalt, Angel Melissa Stemus. On the outside, the number 7 of J.D. Dennis. Third row inside, the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. And on the outside, the number 18 of Mean Gene Stanley. Rounding out your field, the 4T of Terry Elliott. And on the outside, the 22 of Harley Stanley. Chilcutt and Lynch going to bring us to green off turn 4, this time by. Green flag. Racing underway. Chilcutt slips up. The 123 of Tony Lynch shoots to the race lead. Here comes the 02 of the Asphalt, Angel Melissa Stemus. Stemus on the high line, battling with Chilcutt on the low line for the second position. Tony Lynch looks like he's shot out of a cannon. A little loose through 1 and 2, but he's pulling the field. Meanwhile, caution onto the speedway. Steady Eddie Hayes goes around down in the middle of 1 and 2. One lap in, your lineup looks good. The Spin Doctor, Tony Lynch, your current race leader. Second to the 02 of Melissa Stemus. Third, the 6C of Doug Chilcutt. Fourth to the 7 of J.D. Dennis. Fifth to the 18 of Mean Gene Stanley. Sixth will be the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. Seventh, the 4T of Terry Elliott. Rounding out your field, choosing the tail, the 22 of Harley Stanley. Lynch sets the pace into turn 3. Green flag, back to racing in heat race number 3 of the Pro Motor Street Stocks. Tony Lynch again stretches his race lead over the 0-2 of the asphalt. Angel Melissa Stemus. 4 car lengths back to the 6C of Doug Chilcutt. Then J.D. Dennis. Leader, not your leader. Tony Lynch caught speeding. The new race leader will be the 0-2 of the asphalt, Angel Melissa Stemus. Lynch pulls up. He'll let the field go by and resume racing at the back of the pack. Stemus, your leader. Check that, race fans. Melissa Stemus also caught speeding. The asphalt Angel will also have to pull over. Your new race leader will be the number 7 of J.D. Dennis. Dennis, your race leader. The 18 of Mean Gene Stanley holding down the second spot. Steady Eddie Hayes now in third. Stemus takes it pit side. Spin Doctor Tony Lynch gonna hot lap out front in front of the field. Meanwhile, J.D. Dennis in the 7, your race leader, slides up the racetrack. Here comes the number 18 of Mean Gene Stanley. Stanley looking for the race lead. Dennis leads. Here comes Stanley to the low line. Stanley trying to turn a burn. Not going to happen. Here comes J.D. Dennis. Dennis into turn 3. Still your race leader. Off of turn 4. Checkered flag will fly. Coming home 5th. Driving car number 22. That's Harley Stanley. 4th to the 4T of Terry Elliott. 3rd, the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. 2nd, the 18 of Mean Gene Stanley. Picking up tonight's heat race number 3 of the Pro Motor Street Stocks. Driving car number 7. Put your hands together for J.D. Dennis. Six-car fast dash in the pure stock division rolls off. Lineup going to look like this. On the inside of the front row, the 47 of the Bulldog, Gene Hughes. On the outside, driving the 6, that's Terry Elliott. Second row inside, the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. On the outside, the 07 of Brian Kaiser. Third row inside, the 5 of Leapin' Lenny Davis. And rounding out your field, fast qualifier on the day, the number 10 of Hollywood, Eric Kaiser. Six cars, 6 laps the distance. And the pure stock 6-car dash. We have ran a few of these dashes in the pure stocks this year with 6 cars. It's usually a great 6-lap race. The 6 fast guys duking it out for 6 laps. One guy comes home the victor, picks up the win. Hughes and Elliott on the front row. Wardinger and Brian Kaiser. Leap and Lenny Davis and Hollywood, Eric Kaiser rounding out the 6-car field. Light is out off of turn 4. Will be green flag racing. Hughes and Elliott set the pace. Green flag. Elliott slides up. Hughes gets a great start. Wardinger to the inside, making his bid for the race lead. Gene Hughes trying to hold his own. Shuts the door on the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. Smoke pouring out of the back of the 47 of the Bulldog. Gene Hughes, meanwhile, Spencer Wardinger goes top shelf looking for a way around. Caution coming onto the speedway for the 47 of Gene Hughes. White flag flies next time by. Back to green flag racing. 1 lap in, 5 to go. Wardinger sets the pace into turn 3. Off of turn 4, green flag, back to racing. Spencer jumps out to about a car length lead over the number 6 of Terry Elliott. Meanwhile, Eric Kaiser looks to the inside of the 07 of Lost Wages. Terry Elliott doing a great job of trying to reel in the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. Your top 5 unchanged since we went back to racing. Halfway up, halfway home. Spencer holding down the top spot. Terry Elliott second. Meanwhile, here comes Hollywood Eric Kaiser. Kaiser inside and has the door-to-door position with the 07 of Brian Kaiser off of turn 4. Give the third spot to Eric Kaiser off of turn 2. Fourth to the 07 of Brian Kaiser. White flag flies this time by. Wardinger maintains about a car length advantage down the billboard backstretch. Elliott closes it up going into 3. Checkered flag flies this time by. Picking up the dash. Put your hands together for the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. Coming home 5th, the 5 of Lenny Davis. 4th, the 07 of Lost Wages, Brian Kaiser. 3rd to the number 10 of Hollywood, Eric Kaiser. Great run for the number 6 of Terry Elliott. Pulling into victory lane. Picking up tonight's Pure Stock 6-car fast dash. Put your hands together for the new Paris driver, Spencer Wardinger. Spencer sponsored by RC Sales and Leasing, Nav Steel, and Monteith Tire. Up next, heat race number 1 of the Pure Stock Division. Your lineup going to look like this. On the inside of the front row, driving the 52, that's Bobby McDonald. Outside the front row, driving car number 28, that's Daniel Bowling. Second row, inside the 62 of MJ Coretti. And on the outside, the 78 of Brandon Coretti. Third row, inside the 27 of Elvis, Kevin Whitmer. On the outside, the 99 of David Poynton. Rounding out the field, the number 86, being driven by Cody Hawn. Tough break for 2 of our competitors not making the call tonight. The 77 being driven by Stephen Woods, and the 66 of Joey Fernie. Both competitors involved in an on-track incident in hot lapping and will not be able to continue tonight. 7 cars getting ready to go 8 laps in heat race number 1 of the Pure Stock Division. McDonald and Bowling on the front row. Green flag. Heat racing action underway in the Pure Stock Division. Bobby McDonald shoots to the early race lead. 3 wide off of turn 2. Here comes the 78 of Brandon Coretti. Coretti shoots the gap of the Thunder Alley Stock Car Racing crew. Daniel Bowling looks to the inside of the 78 for second position. Meanwhile, Brandon Coretti shoots to the high line. Door to door for the race lead with Bobby Mack. Here comes the 99 of David Poynton. Coretti battling with McDonald for the top spot. Meanwhile, David Poynton moves into the sole position of the third position. Elvis, Kevin Whitmer goes to the high line, making his way into the fourth spot. Bowling fights back down low. Here comes the 86 of Cody Hahn. 3 wide down the billboard backstretch. Hahn now takes the fourth spot away. This time by halfway up, halfway home. McDonald, your race leader, but Coretti fights back on the high line. Poynton, 3 wide for the race lead down the billboard backstretch. Coretti clears McDonald on the outside, Poynton on the inside. Caution, gonna come out. Daniel Bowling in the 28 into the quarter penalty, 86 of Cody Hahn. Four in, 4 to go. Green flag. McDonald leads them back to green. Hahn quickly works the inside of the racetrack. He's hauled the way back up to fourth already. Poynton looks to the inside of the 78 of Brandon Coretti. Coretti works the outside of the 52 of Bobby McDonald for your race lead. Here comes the 27 of Kevin Whitmer. Whitmer on the high line, fights back into the top 5. McDonald gets loose. Here comes the 78 of Brandon Coretti. Coretti, now your race leader off turn 4. White flag will fly, this time by. Meanwhile, the 27 of Elvis, Kevin Whitmer, continues to work the high line. Whitmer trying to keep it going in the right direction. A little bit loose off of turn 2. Poynton ducks to the inside. Slight contact with the 52 of Bobby McDonald. Checkered flag flies. Coming home 5th, the 62 of MJ Coretti. 4th, the 20. Check that. 5th to the 86 of Cody Hahn. 4th, the 62 of MJ Coretti. 3rd, the 27 of Kevin Whitmer. 2nd to the 99 of David Poynton. Picking up the win. Driving car number 78. He is Brandon Coretti. Coretti, sponsored by Elkhart Racing Supply and Thunder Alley Stock Car Racing. Your fast 6-car dash going to look like this. Front row, inside the 34 of Mark Hughes. On the outside, the 69 of Eric Frazier. Inside, the 37 of the little guy, Josh Dunnick. And on the outside, the 96 of Ryan McKinney. Rounding out your field, the 21 of Bobby Lauder. And fast qualifier on the day, driving car number 9. That's gentleman Jim Engelmeyer. 6 cars, 6 laps the distance. This time by Matt Sparks, going to set them on their final pace lap. The 6 fast cars of the Scott's Computer World Mini Stocks about to be turned loose for 6 fast laps. Hughes and Frazier, Dunnick and McKinney, Lauder and Engelmeyer. Green flag. Hughes pushes up big time off of turn 2. Frazier looking for the race lead down into turn 3. Meanwhile, Dunick to the inside of the 34. Frazier will lead lap number 1. Dunick second. Hughes third. Lauder now moves himself to the inside of the 34 off turn number 2. Here comes the number 9 of gentleman Jim Engelmeyer. Frazier, Dunick, Lauder, Engelmeyer, Hughes, and McKinney, your top 6. Hughes nearly puts it in the wall down the backstretch. Single file, here comes McKinney. McKinney looks to the inside of the 34 off at turn 4. Engelmeyer now looks to the inside of the 21 down in 1 and 2. Side-by-side battle for the 3rd spot. Frazier holding down the top spot. Dunick reeling him in low in 2nd. Here comes the number 9 of gentleman, Jim Engelmeyer. Engelmeyer runs 3rd. Lauder 4th. Hughes 5th. McKinney rounds out your top 6. White flag onto the speedway. Frazier has one more lap to go. Dunick goes to the high line, trying to set up the 69 in the last set of turns. Checkered flag flies off turn number 4. 6 to the 96 of Ryan McKinney. 5th to the 34 of Mark Hughes. 4th to 21 of Bobby Lauder. Coming home 3rd, the number 9 of the gentleman, Jim Engelmeyer. 2nd to the 37 of the little guy, Josh Dunick. And picking up tonight's 6-car fast dash in the Scott's Computer World Mini Stocks. Pulling down the front stretch. Put your hands together for the 69 out of Warsaw of Eric Frazier. Frazier pulls into victory lane, being sponsored by Goshen Collision Center and Ryman Designs. Your race lineup going to look like this. On the inside of the front row, driving car number 19, that's Jared Rogers. On the outside in the 60, that's Matt McGee. Second row inside, the number 89 of Marcus Vitale. On the outside, the number 14 of Mr. Friendly, Kevin Grubb. Third row inside, the number 2 of Kurt Grubb. On the outside, the 4J of Josh Elliott. Fourth row inside, the 03 of BJ Blair. And rounding out your field, the 4X of Tony Elliott. Eight cars, 8 laps the distance. Heat race number 1 for your Scott's Computer World Mini Stocks. Not looking good into turn 3 and off of turn 4. The field looks all jacked up. Lazy green flag from Matt Sparks. Caution going to come back out on this one. Nowhere close to a side-by-side start. Sure, Tony Eldred's going to straighten him out this time by. Going to give them a shot or two at this, and if they decide they want to play dirty, we'll just have to get a new front row. Two front wheel drives going to set the pace on this one. Jared Rogers on the front row, being sponsored by Jenkins Napa Automotive. It is Napa Night here at the New Paris Speedway. Jenkins Napa Automotive sponsors the races here in 2012, and it is Napa Night. Gonna try this one more time. Rogers and McGee into 3, look real good off of 4. Green flag, we're racing. McGee moves up. Mr. Friendly Kevin Grubb shoots through the middle. Jared Rogers, your early race leader, down the billboard backstretch. Marcus Vitale second. Here comes the 14 of Mr. Friendly Kevin Grubb, racing with the 2 of Kurt Grubb. Jared Rogers leads lap number 1. Marcus Vitale now being challenged by the 2 of Kurt Grubb. Kevin Grubb spins around off turn number 4. Jared Rogers, your race leader. The 89 of Marcus Vitale second. The 2 of Kurt Grubb third. 03 BJ Blair fourth. 4X of Tony Elliott rounding out your top 5. This time by off turn 4, Matt Sparks. Going to turn them back to racing. Green flag. So far, so good. Great job of driving by the front wheel drive. The number 19 of Jared Rogers. Rogers holds down the race lead. Currently second, the 89 of Marcus Vitale. Challenge for the third spot. The 4X of Tony Elliott to the inside of the 2 of Kurt Grubb. Give the third spot to the 4X of Tony Elliott. BJ Blair slip sliding all the way to the back of the 03 car. Elliott now goes to the highline. Tries to make a move on the 89 of Marcus Vitale. Meanwhile, Rogers slips up. Rogers receives the move over. Rogers was clocked under his qualifying time last time by. He's being black flagged. So now the 89 of Marcus Vitale is your race leader. The 4X, Tony Elliott, second. The 2, Kurt Grubb, third. Here comes the 4J of Josh Elliott. Elliott now moves to the high line to battle for the third position. Five laps in, 3 to go. Marcus Vitale trying to hold off the 4X of Tony Elliott. Meanwhile, the 4J now looks to the inside for the second position. Little bit of contact. Josh moves to the inside of Tony. Robbins racing down the billboard. Vitale, race leader, off of turn 2. Josh Elliott looking for the race lead. Here comes Tony, back to the inside, quarter pedal of Josh. More rubbing. Elliott boys putting on a race. White flag onto the speedway. Marcus Vitale still your race leader. Here comes the 4J to the high line. Checkered flag flies, this time by. Coming home fifth, the number 14 of Mr. Friendly Kevin Grubb. Fourth to the number 2 of Kurt Grubb. Third to the 4X of Tony Elliott. Second to the 4J of Josh Elliott. Picking up tonight's heat race win. Put your hands together, race fans, for the number 89 of Marcus Vitale. Vitale, your Bristol, Indiana driver, sponsored by R&D Painting, Nav Steel, and VC Motorsports. Facts and figures on the number 19 of Rogers. Rogers qualified in today at a 17.350. We clocked him in the race lead at a 17.226 and a 17.210. Heat race number 2 for your Scott's Computer World Mini Stacks. Up now. On the front row, on the inside, the 47 of Lewis Davis. On the outside, the 39 of Angie Baker. Second row on the inside, the 62 of Jeremiah Wolf. On the outside, the number 19 of Eric Jernigan. Third row inside, the 37 of the Buckstop, Shannon Buck. On the outside, the 29 of Fumar, Philip Moore. Rounding out your field, the 31 of Craig Johnson and the 49 of Paul Davis. 8 cars, 8 laps the distance. Street stock Division drivers, Street Stock B, you're up next. Street Stock B, you are up next. Green flag. Caution coming out. Monteith Tire Trailer. Monteith Tire Trailer employee, please, to the tire trailer. Monteith Tire employee to the tire trailer, please. Lewis Davis and Angie Baker on the front row. Jeremiah Wolf and Eric Jernigan in the second row. Buck and Moore, Johnson and Davis. Green flag. Nice slow start off turn number 4. Here comes the 49 of Paul Davis. 3 wide on the outside. 3 wide down and 1 and 2. Gonna let him 4 wide down into turn 3. Off of turn number 4. Paul, check that. Lewis Davis gonna lead lap number 1. Jeremiah Wolf second. The 37 of Shannon Buck third. Here comes Craig Johnson. Johnson looks to the inside. Buck goes to the high line trying to find the second position. Lewis Davis will lead lap number 2. Shannon Buck in the upper groove, looking for the race lead. Lewis Davis caught speeding. Shannon Buck, your new race leader. Here comes the 31 of Craig Johnson. The 47 of Davis under his time, so Shannon Buck, your race leader. Craig Johnson holds down the second position. Jeremiah Wolf third. Here comes Eric Jernigan looking for the third spot. Shannon Buck continues to lead. Craig Johnson second. Eric Jernigan third. Jeremiah Wolf fourth. Paul Davis fifth. Philip Moore sixth. The 47 of Lewis Davis being scored on the tail end of the lead lap. Davis caught speeding while leading. Five laps in, 3 to go. Craig Johnson looks for the race lead off of turn 2. Buck shuts the door. Again, Johnson to the inside off of turn 4. Eric Jernigan holding down the third spot. Paul Davis looks to the inside off of turn 2. Meanwhile, there's a battle for your race lead. Johnson to the inside, Buck on the outside. White flag flies off at turn 4. Buck and Johnson down at turn 1, off at turn 2. Johnson a slight advantage. Buck keeps it wound up down the billboard backstretch. Door to door into turn 3. Off at turn 4. Checkered flag flies. Picking up the win. Oh, near photo finish. Wow, what a finish. No, Shannon Buck and the 37 will pick up the race win because the 31 of Craig Johnson is under his time. Johnson actually led the last lap, and that was the one that did him in. 2 consecutive laps. Craig Johnson under his time, picking up the win and pulling into victory lane. The 37 Southside Video and Tanning Special of Shannon Buck. Facts and figures on Craig Johnson in the 31. Johnson clocked in today at a 17.658. We clocked him in a race lead at a 17.544, and the last lap at a 17.367. Shannon Buck picks up the heat race win. Congratulated by Lou Strimmy and Kim Coleman. Up next, your Pro Motor Street Stock B feature. Lineup is set. We're putting them on their final pace lap. This time by. Front row is going to look like this. The 6C of Doug Chilcutt. Outside the front row, the 7 of J.D. Dennis. Second row, inside the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. And on the outside, the 18 of Mean Gene Stanley. Third row, inside the 4T of Terry Elliott. On the outside, the 79 of Bruce Fernie Jr. Rounding out the field, the 123 of Tony Lynch. And on the outside, the 02 of the Asphalt Angel, Melissa Stemus. Green flag. 3 wide down into turn 1. Steady Eddie Hayes shoots the middle of the gap. J.D. Dennis slips off the pace. Chilcutt was your race leader, but here comes the 50 of Steady Eddie off of turn 4. Hayes will lead lap number 1. 3 wide off of turn 2. 4T Terry Elliott shoots to the inside for the race lead. Hayes fights back on the outside. Elliott will lead lap number 2. Meanwhile, the spin doctor, Tony Lynch, has found himself to the 3rd position. Fernie loops it around off turn 2. Wow, everybody misses him. Caution coming out. Fernie looped it around off turn 2. It looked like disaster. Everybody split him. No contact was made. Elliott, Hayes, Lynch, Chilcutt, and Stemus, your top 5. Green flag, back to racing. Spin doctor Tony Lynch goes to the high line, making his move on the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes, looking for the 2nd position. Further back, Melissa Stemus moves to the high side, trying to get around the 60 of Doug Chilcutt. Lynch gains the advantage down into turn 1. Hayes fights back on the inside. Meanwhile, Lynch takes over the 2nd position. Stemus moves into the 4th spot. Fernie trying to work himself back towards the front after spinning that last time. 4T of Terry Elliott, your race leader. Second to the 123 of the spin doctor, Tony Lynch. Steady Eddie Hayes holding down the number 3 spot. J.D. Dennis now battles to the outside of the 6C of Doug Chilcutt. Chilcutt slips up. 79 of Fernie to the inside. 3 wide down the billboard backstretch. Caution coming out. Spin doctor living up to his name. Spinning around down the backstretch. Lineup looks good. 4T of Terry Elliott, your race leader. Second to the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. The Asphalt Angel, Melissa Stemus, holding down the 3rd spot. 4th to the 6C of Doug Chilcutt. 5th to 7 of J.D. Dennis. 6th to the 79 of Bruce Fernie. 7th to the 18 of Mean Gene Stanley, and rounding out the field, the 123 of the spin doctor, Tony Lynch. Elliott has 5 laps in, 15 to go, trying to pick up a win on Napa Night. Green flag, back to racing. Elliott pulls about 2 car lengths over the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. Another car link back to the 02 of the Asphalt Angel. Further back, Fernie battles to the inside of the 7 of Dennis for the 4th spot. Fernie now looking to the inside of the 6C of Chilcutt down the billboard backstretch. He's there. Nearly 3 wide. Here comes the 123 of the spin doctor. Tony Lynch also to the inside of the 6C. Lynch in 5th. Fernie in 4th. Lynch looks to the inside of Fernie. Fernie holding him off. Here comes Lynch. Door to door into turn 1. Spin doctor trying to take the 4th spot away from the 79 of Fernie. He'll do it off of turn 2. Your top 3 unchanged. Terry Elliott, Steady Eddie Hayes, and the 02 of the Asphalt Angel, Melissa Stemus. Lynch holds down the 4th spot. Fernie the 5th spot. This time by halfway up, halfway home. Pretty evenly spread out your top 5. 6th runs the number 18 of me, Gene Stanley. 7th to the 7 of J.D. Dennis. Rounding out the field, the 6C of Doug Chilcutt. Lynch now looks to the inside of the O2, the Asphalt Angel. Tony Lynch is door to door. Door to door off turn 4. Lynch now gains the 3rd position. Lynch going to set his sights on the 3rd spot. Lynch goes high, wide, and handsome, trying to find a way around the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes for the 2nd spot. Bruce Fernie Jr. ducks to the inside of the Asphalt Angel. Lynch to the outside of the Steady Eddie Hayes, number 50 machine, door to door for the 2nd position. Meanwhile, Fernie has got to the back bumper. Fernie also trying to find his way into the top 3. Lynch moves himself into 2nd. Steady Eddie Hayes runs 3rd. 4th to the 79 of Bruce Fernie. 5th to the Asphalt Angel. Here comes Fernie to the high line. Bruce Fernie Jr. looks for the 3rd spot. Steady Eddie Hayes has it. Fernie wants it. Terry Elliott in the 4T continues to lead the race, this time by 17 in 3 to go. Fernie still trying the top shelf, trying to find a way around the 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. Door to door off of turn 2. Here comes Fernie. This time by 2 laps to go. 1, 2, 2 laps to go. Fernie gains the 3rd position. Meanwhile, Tony Lynch has caught the 4T of Terry Elliott. This time by white flag will fly. Lynch is there, but he's running out of time. Tony goes to the high line, trying to find a way around the 4T of Terry Elliott for your race lead. Elliott pulls a slight advantage down the Billboard backstretch. Into 3, Lynch again on the high line. Here they come off of 4. Checkered flag flies for the 4T of Terry Elliott. Coming home 5th, driving the O2, the Asphalt Angel Melissa Stemus. 4th to the number 50 of Steady Eddie Hayes. Picking up 3rd, the 79 of Bruce Fernie Jr. Coming home 2nd, the 123 of the Spin Doctor, Tony Lynch. Picking up tonight's Pro Motor Street Stock B feature. Driving the 4T, he is Terry Elliott. Driver of the 4T is from North Webster, Indiana, sponsored by Dave Darlin Motorsports, Walker Automotive, Ace Hardware, Milk House Chocolates, Cheryl and Linda Justice, Doug and Susie Elliott, Napa Automotive, and in memory of Cheryl Justice. Put your hands together, race fans, for our B feature winner. He's up and out of the car. He is Terry Elliott. Seven cars making the call. 12 laps the distance in tonight's B feature for the Scott's Computer World Mini Stocks. 12 laps the distance for tonight's B main. On the front row, inside the 39 of Angie Baker. On the outside, the 62 of Jeremiah Wolf. Inside the second row, the number 19 of Eric Jernigan. Outside the 37 of the Buck Stop, Shannon Buck. Third row inside the 29 of Fumar, Philip Moore. On the outside, the 47 of Lewis Davis. Rounding out the field, driving the 66 is Chris Harmon. Race fans, this time by, get on your feet, wave your hands, your hats, and your hankies. Give them a wave. Say good luck, guys, and good racing. Give them the wave as they wave back at you, getting ready to set them on their final pace lap. Baker, Wolf, Jernigan, Buck, Moore, Davis, and Harmon. White flag on the speedway. Next time by, off of turn 4 will be green flag racing. Baker and Wolf going to set the pace. Green flag, we are racing in tonight's Scott's Computer World Mini Stock B feature. Nearly 4 wide into turn 1. Jeremiah Wolf, your early race leader. Angie Baker now being challenged by the 19 of Eric Jernigan. The 37 of Shannon Buck. 3 wide down the billboard backstretch. Here comes Philip Moore. Lap 1 in the books. Wolf, your race leader. Jernigan second, Moore third. Shannon Buck makes his way to the 4th position. Lewis Davis now moves into 5th. Angie Baker 6th, and out back the 66 of Chris Harmon. Caution coming out. Eric Jernigan getting into the 62 of Jeremiah Wolf. Wolf goes around. So the 62 and the 19 will go to the back of the pack. 1 lap is in. We'll get them lined back up. Matt Sparks going to put him on his final pace lap this time by Philip Moore, your race leader. Shannon Buck second. Angie Baker third. Lewis Davis 4th. Chris Harmon 5th. Jeremiah Wolf and Eric Jernigan round out the field. Green flag, back to racing. 1 lap in, 11 to go. Davis ducks to the inside of the 39 of Baker. Lewis Davis moves into the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Shannon Buck goes to the top shelf looking for the race lead. Buck in the high line. Moore on the low line. Shannon Buck has looked rather racy tonight. Pulling the advantage down the billboard backstretch, but Phil Moore fights back on the inside. Lewis Davis has come to the front. He wants to party. 3-car breakaway. Buck on the high line. Moore in the middle. Here comes Lewis Davis. 3 wide. Davis now looks to the inside. Shannon Buck has took over the top spot. Davis moves into the 2nd spot. Phil Moore now 3rd. Eric Jernigan 4th. Angie Baker and Jeremiah Wolf do battle for the 5th spot. Buck stop. Shannon Buck in control of this one. Buck, your race leader, the 47 of Lewis Davis 2nd. Fumar, Philip Moore holding down the 3rd spot. Halfway up, halfway home, this time by. Your leaders, not your leader. Shannon Buck caught speeding. The 37 under his time. Your new race leader will be the 47 of Lewis Davis. Davis leads the race. The 29 of Philip Moore holding down second. Third to the 19 of Eric Jernigan. Fourth the 62 of Jeremiah Wolf. And rounding out your top five, the 39 of Angie Baker. This time by 2 laps to go. Lewis Davis, your race leader, being challenged by Fumar Philip Moore, the 29. Holding down the third spot, the 19 of Eric Jernigan. Moore on the high line, looking for more. White flag coming out. Philip Moore door to door down into turn one. Lewis Davis, your race leader, into 3, off of 4. This time, checkered flag coming out. Picking up the B feature, driving car number 47, all the way from the back. He is Lewis Davis. Coming home fifth, the 39 of Angie Baker. Fourth to the 62 of Jeremiah Wolf. Third, the 19 of Eric Jernigan. Second to the 29 of Philip Moore. And picking up tonight's Scott's Computer World B feature win. Driver, the number 47, is Lewis Davis. Lewis Davis pulls into victory lane, picking up tonight's B feature win in the Scott's Computer World Mini Stocks. Jenkins Napa Automotive going to present him with a nice looking trophy for picking up tonight's B main. Lewis Davis sponsored by R&D Painting, Nav Steel, Stainless Diesel, Paul and Kim, and Marcus and Ashley. Napa Automotive Night tonight at the New Paris Speedway. 18 cars getting ready to go. 40 laps the distance. Your front row going to look like this. On the inside, the 58. The 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. On the outside, the 68 of Jason Howard. Second row inside, the 23 of Jacob Maynard. On the outside, the 5 of Eddie Santora. Third row inside, the 40 of Donnie Klotz. And on the outside, the 9 of the pretty boy TK. Check that, Kenny Whitman. Fourth row inside, the 68 of Mark Vance. On the outside, the 61 of Travis Slaybaugh. Next row inside, the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. On the outside, the 42 of Flying Brian Ross. Inside, the 27 of Corey Ryman. On the outside, the 6X of Corey Pressler. Inside, the 88 of Andrew DeVries. And on the outside, the 89 of TK Whitman. Inside, the 28 of Sean Amor. On the outside, the number 9 of Hot Rod, Rodney Spencer. Rounding out your field, the 20 of Cy Sharp. And the 20X of Bryce Schaefer. 18 cars, 40 laps the distance in tonight's Monty Tire Late Model A main. Doing a quick check of the number 9 of Kenny Whitman. Everything looking A-OK. Napa Automotive Night Trophy on the line. Ought to be a stellar A main. 18 cars getting ready to go 40 laps. Kenny Whitman going to get back up and find his spot in line. This time by race fans, get up and on your feet. Stand loud and proud. Wave to your favorite cars and stars of the Monty Tire Late Model Division right here at the new Paris Speedway on Napa Night 2012. Wave at them while they wave at you. Maynard and Howard on the front row going to lead us to green. You gave them the wave. Now Matt Sparks going to wave the white flag. Set them on their final pace lap. Things are about to get interesting. Business is going to pick up here at the quarter mile. And the racing action's about to get hot. Maynard and Howard work their way into turn 3. Maynard picks up the pace off of 4. Green flag. Maynard shoots into the early race lead off turn 2 down the billboard backstretch. Jacob Maynard to the inside of the 68. Howard gets high, wide, and handsome. 3 wide down into turn 4. Eddie Santora, Donnie Klotz now side by side fighting for the second position. Problems for Jason Howard. Sparks underneath the car. He slows up down the billboard backstretch. It will take the 68 pit side. Meanwhile, your race leaders, the 23 of Jacob Maynard. Jacob Maynard, your leader. Here comes the 40 of Donnie Klotz. Klotz trying to take the second position for the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. Big juicy Eddie Santora goes to the high line, trying to find his way around the 58 of Maynard. Leader, not your leader any longer. Jacob Maynard caught speeding. Your new race leader will be the 40 of Donnie Klotz. Second to the 5 of Eddie Santora. Battle for third as Kenny Whitman now pursues the third spot. Give Whitman the third spot. Maynard Jr. fourth. Mark Vance fifth. Klotz, your race leader. Jacob Maynard has been under his time. He's now being scored at the back of the pack. Klotz, your race leader, second to the 5 of Santora. The 9 of Whitman holds down third. Here comes Mark Vance in the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. Strimmy up to 5th. Donnie Klotz has opened up a pretty good size lead over the 5 of Santora. Santora about to be challenged by the number 9 of Kenny Whitman. Whitman in third, Santora second. Here comes the 68 of Mark Vance. Vance holding down the 4 spot. The 6X of Pressler now looks to the inside of the 35 of Bobby Strimmy for the 5th position. Travis Slayball to the inside of the 58 of Ron Maynard Jr. Slayball opens the door. Here comes the 42 of Ross, the 28 of Amore, the 89 of Whitman, the 88 of DeVries, and the 27 of Corey Ryman. Pressler now down to the inside of the 35 of Strimmy for the 5th position. Donnie Klotz, your race leader. Meanwhile, the 23 of Maynard has been scored at the back of the pack. He continues to hold up second through 6th. Corey Pressler goes to the high line, working the 68 of Mark Vance. Pressler very quick tonight. Pressler again tries the outside line on the 68 of Vance for the 4th position. Santora continues to hold down the second spot. He's got the open lane to the inside of Maynard, trying to make it work. Maynard cuts him off. Mark Vance holding down the fourth spot to the inside of the number 9 of Kenny Whitman. Vance looking for the third spot off at turn 2. Meanwhile, Strimmy and Pressler again side by side for the fifth spot. Santora has moved to sole position this second. Here comes Vance for third. Strimmy now for fourth. Pressler looking for fifth. Whitman on the high line. Here comes the 61 of Travis Slayball. What a group of cars from second on back. Donnie Klotz, your race leader. The 5 of Ed Santora holds down second. Vance third. Strimmy fourth. Pressler fifth. Slayball sixth. Ross seventh. Amor eighth. Whitman ninth. Whitman 10th. Laps are in the books. 22 to go. This time by, it'll be lap 19. Second through fifth, nose to tail. Halfway up, halfway home. Strimmy looks to the inside of Vance. Vance shuts the door in turn 3. Pressler goes to the high line, trying to find a way around the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. Pressler continues to pursue that high line. He has not given up on it. Meanwhile, nearly door to door into turn 3 with Bobby Strimmy for the 4th position. Pressler destined to make it work. He now works on the 68 of Mark Vance on the high line. Little Donnie continues to roll out front. Second to the 5 of Santora. Here comes the 6 of Pressler for third. Vance fights back on the inside, but Pressler will have none of it. Give the third spot to Pressler. Pressler now pursues the 5 of Santora for second. Keep an eye on that 6 car. He's on a mission and on a move. Bobby Strimmy trying to find a way around the 68 of Mark Vance. Further back, Amor to the inside of the 42 of Brian Ross. Pressler door to door off of turn 2 with the 5 of Santora for the second position. Pressler is simply strong. He moves into the second position. 14 laps to go. Nearly a straightaway lead for the number 40 of Little Donnie Klotz. Pressler now setting his sight on the top spot. Got a long way to go. Mark Vance into the back of the 5 car, but Santora keeps it straight. Bobby Strimmy fighting on the outside of Santora, trying to take away that third spot. Nearly 3 wide off for turn 2. Little Donnie continues to lead. Pressler closing the gap. Bobby Strimmy works the high line, trying to move ahead of the number 5 of Ed Santora. Give the third spot to Bobby Strimmy. Santora runs fourth to the 68 of Vance fifth. Here comes the 28 of Sean Amor. Amor is in 6th. Ross 7th. Slayball 8th. Kenny Whitman 9th. DK Whitman 10th. Andrew DeVries runs 11th, and Corey Ryman rounds out the field in 12th. This time by 31 in, 9 to go. Pressler has closed up the gap sizably, but he may be running out of time. Bobby Strimmy holding down the third spot, and Santora fourth, and rounding out your top 5, the 68 of Mark Vance. Keep an eye on the battle for the number 4 spot. Santora continues to park it going into the corner. Vance on the brakes heavy. Here comes Amor and Ross. Nearly a car length lead. The 40 over the 6 of Pressler. 33 laps in, this time by 34. Pressler is all over the back bumper. Klotz slips up off turn 4. All over the bumper. Pressler is there trying to find a way around. He's going to go back to the top shelf. He's made it to the front, going high, wide, and handsome this time by off turn 4. 5 laps to go. Pressler again dives to the high line. Off of turn 2 and down the billboard backstretch. They'll be door to door into turn 3. Off of turn 4. Klotz sees him. He knows he's there. Pressler takes over. Klotz loops it around down into turn number 1. This is for all the marbles. Light is out. Off of turn 4. We'll be back to green flag racing. Pressler going to show him the way. Single file through 1 and 2. Pressler pulling about a car length and a half on the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. About the same distance back to the 5 of Ed Santora. Amor trying to make a bid for the 4th spot. Pressler wants none of it. He's trying to check out on the field. Bobby Strimmy now about 2 car lengths back. Next time by 2 laps to go. Corey Ryman moves to the high line, trying to find a way around the number 9 of Kenny Whitman. Pressler's opened up about a 5 car length advantage over the 35 of Strimmy. White flag flies this time by. 39 in, 1 more to go. Your top 5 still unchanged. Off of turn 4, checkered flag flies for the 6X of Corey Pressler. Coming home 5th, the 28 of Sean Amor. 4th, the 68 of Mark Vance. 3rd, the 5 of Ed Santora. Coming home 2nd, the 35 of Bobby Strimmy. Taking it trackside for your race winner. Race fans, he's got the engine off. He's pulled into victory lane. He's the late model A-main winner tonight in the Monty Tire Late Models on Napa Night. Put your hands together for the 6X of Corey Pressler. Corey, you pull into victory lane tonight. You had a really strong car. You picked up fast time tonight. Mike Schuchuk gave you a really nice piece. You showed it on the high line. You earned your spots. You come to the front, and right when you took the race lead, Donnie looped it.
Yeah, Mike, man, I got to thank him for everything. We wrecked the other car a couple weeks ago, and we ain't got it back together yet, so he told me just go ahead and jump in this one. And this is one fast race car right here. The thing will go on the top. I wish we could have got a little better for the Sizzler, but it's a pretty good car.
Well, my friend, you come home the victor tonight. You picked up last year's point championship, struggled to pick up that A-main, but you've won quite a few already this year.
Yeah, we've had a pretty good year other than getting that car wrecked, and I think we have a pretty good few nights left here to go.
Well, again, congratulations to the driver of the 6X tonight. He picks up a nice piece of hardware on Napa Night. Put your hands together for Corey Pressler. Your Pure Stock A-main rolling off the starting grid. Lineup going to look like this on the inside of the front row. Driving car number 28. He is Daniel Bowling. On the outside, driving the 62. He is MJ Coretti. Second row inside, the 78 of Brandon Coretti. On the outside, the 27 of Elvis, Kevin Whitmer. Third row inside, the 47 of the Bulldog, Gene Hughes. And on the outside, the 86 of Cody Hahn. Third row inside, the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. On the outside, the 6 of Terry Elliott. Fourth row inside, the number 5 of Leapin, Lenny Davis. On the outside, the 07 of Lost Wages, Brian Kaiser. Fifth row inside, the number 10 of Hollywood, Eric Kaiser. On the outside, the 99 of David Poynton. Rounding out your field, the number 52 of Bobby McDonald. Unable to make the call tonight, the 77 of Stephen Woods and the 66 of Joey Fernie. If those two cars would have made the call tonight, we would have 15 cars starting the Pure Stock A main, which would have been a record here in 2012. This time, by race fans, give them the wave. Wave at them while they're waving at you. Congratulations going out to the 6X of Corey Pressler. Pressler picking up $100 tonight in a late model feature thanks to Barton Motorsport Services and Transmission. Hard Charger Award. Bowling and Coretti off of turn 4. Green flag. We're racing the Pure Stock A main. Side by side off of turn 2 and down the Billboard backstretch. Slicing and dicing all through the field. Gene Hughes making his bid to the front. He's holding down the 4th spot. Here comes Spencer Wardinger, 3 wide down into turn 3. Caution coming out. Bowling, Coretti, Wardinger, and Lenny Davis, your top 5. Green flag back to racing in your Pure Stock division on Napa Night. Here the new Paris Speedway. Spencer Wardinger goes to the high line, making quick work of him. Here comes the 5 of Leapin' Lenny Davis. Wardinger rocking it on the outside to the front. Davis going to follow him. Bowling loose off turn number 4. Here comes Wardinger for your race lead. Wardinger takes over the top spot. Here comes the 5 of Lenny Davis. Your fast qualifier, Hollywood Eric Kaiser, has made his way to mid-pack. Meanwhile, Spencer Wardinger and Lenny Davis try to run away. Side by side, door to door. Off of turn 2, 3 wide down the Billboard backstretch. The Thunder Alley Stock Car Racing Team, 3 wide down the Billboard backstretch. Brandon Coretti moves himself into 3rd. Caution coming out. Caution coming out, 4 laps in the books. Daniel Bowling not happy with the 07 of Brian Kaiser. He throws his steering wheel, now his neck brace. Business picking up in turn number 1. Bowling all over in the window of the 07 of Brian Kaiser. All right, the track's cleaned back up. Lineup is set. This time by Matt Sparks will proudly wave the white flag and set them on their final pace lap as we get ready to go back to green flag racing in the pure stock division. 4 laps are in, 16 to go. Green flag, Spencer Wardinger brings him back to racing in the pure stock division. Kevin Whitmer looks to the inside for the 4th spot. Meanwhile, Hollywood Eric Kaiser also trying to find his way into the top 5. Wardinger, Davis, Coretti, Whitmer, Eric Kaiser now to the high line, trying to find his way into the 4th spot. David Poynton has made his way up to 6th. Leaping Lenny Davis closing in on the back bumper of the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. Eric Kaiser moves into 4th. Now he looks for 3rd on the high line. Brandon Coretti has it. Kaiser wants it. Your front 2 cars have about a 12-car length advantage over the 78 of Brandon Coretti. Spencer Wardinger continues to set the pace. Here comes Hollywood Eric Kaiser on the high line. Kaiser and Coretti off turn 4 for the 3rd spot. Kaiser clears Coretti off of turn 2, this time by halfway up, halfway home. Your leader comes off turn number 4. Spencer Wardinger leads the 5 of Lenny Davis. 3rd to Hollywood Eric Kaiser. 4th to Brandon Coretti, and 5th to David Poynton. Cody Hahn goes to the high line, trying to find a way around the 99 of Poynton for the 5th position. Wardinger and Davis with about 10 car lengths back to Hollywood Eric Kaiser. Then another 10 car lengths back to the battle for 5th. Poynton clears Coretti. Here comes Cody Hahn. Your fast qualifier, Hollywood Eric Kaiser, currently 3rd, trying to reel in the front 2 pair of Wardinger and Davis. This time by, we'll be clocking in 14 laps, 6 to go. Leaping Lenny within a car length of the 32 of Wardinger. Wardinger sees he's got 5, count them, 5 laps to go. Hollywood Eric Kaiser still trying to reel him in, but he's running out of time. Cody Hahn runs 5th, trying to close in on the 99 of David Poynton for 4th. Meanwhile, Bobby Mack spins off at turn 2. Caution coming out. Right in front of your race leaders. Wow, what a break for the number 10 of Hollywood. Eric Kaiser gets the caution when he needs it. How about your fast qualifier, Hollywood Eric Kaiser? David Poynton out of Plymouth making the haul. He sets 4th. Cody Hahn in the 86 sets 5th. Keep an eye on him this time by. Wardinger sets the pace, gets a great jump. Green flag, back to racing. Wardinger with about a car length over the 5 of Lenny Davis. About a car length back to the 10 of Hollywood Eric Kaiser. Your front 3 with a 2 car length gap back to the 99 of David Poynton. Sitting back and watching this one unfold. Your front three, nose to tail. Here comes Hollywood Eric Kaiser to the inside of the 5 of Leapin' Lenny Davis. Kaiser, door to door off turn 2. Eric looking for the second position. Lenny fighting back on the high line. This time by 2 laps to go. Eric Kaiser moves slowly into the second position. Now he's on the back bumper of the 32 of Spencer Wardinger. Off of turn 4, you'll see the white flag fly this time by. Wardinger has the lead. Kaiser wants it. Kaiser looks to the inside off of turn 2. Pushing the issue, not going to get it done. Wardinger shuts the door into turn 3. Off of 4, checkered flag will fly. Coming home 5th, the 86 of Cody Hahn. 4th, the 99 of David Poynton. 3rd, the 5 of Lenny Davis. 2nd, the number 10 of Hollywood, Eric Kaiser, and picking up the win. Driving the 32 out of New Paris, Indiana, he is Spencer Wardinger. Engines off, drivers into victory lane. Give him a second here to get unbuckled. Window net coming down. Race fans, put your hands together for driver the number 32, Spencer Wardinger. Spencer, again, you bring the black 32 into victory lane on Napa Automotive Night. You pick up a nice piece of hardware. I asked them on the last restart how many fans were pulling for you. Quite a few of them erupted. I got back to Hollywood Eric Kaiser. Quite a few of them erupted. And right down to the last minute, you and Hollywood Eric Kaiser battling for the race lead. You pick up the win. You pick up the hardware on Napa Automotive Night.
Well, yeah, it was a good race there at the end. I seen Eric's coming on the board, and I knew it was going to be time. The car wasn't as good as it has been, so kept her low, but other than that, I got to thank Nav Steel, RC Sales and Leasing, Monteith Tire, Dad, of course, putting a ton of hours in on the car, Grandpa, and everybody else. And so, yep, I think that's it. And Nav Steel.
Again, getting Nav Steel in there a couple times. Obviously, a great sponsor on the 32. Going to let his fans come in here in just a second. Napa Automotive going to get their picture taken with a very nice trophy that Spencer has won. A great race for the Pure Stock Division drivers. Again, it comes right down to the wire. Hollywood Eric Kaiser making a bid down the backstretch for the race lead. Spencer Wardinger shutting the door and bringing the 32 home in victory lane. All right, getting your lineup set for tonight's Pro Motor Street Stock Hay-Main. On the front row, driving the 54, he is Randy Huffman. On the outside, driving the 33, that's Steve Reed. Second row inside, the 25 of Michael Best. On the outside, the number 1 of Al Maurer. Third row inside, the 32 of Josh Summers. And on the outside, the 84 of Mike Prescott. Fourth row inside, the 64 of Corey Kaiser. And on the outside, the 29 of Austin Maynard. Fifth row inside, the 14 of Rob Smith. And on the outside, the 53S of Lou Strimmy. Sixth row inside, the 17 of the bad boy, Bobby Schischler. And on the outside, the number 10 of Nick Pressler. Inside, the 16 of Travis Slayball. And on the outside, the 28 of Floyd Wood. Rounding out your field, the 38 of Darrell Click. And on the outside, the 61 of Jason Slayball. This time by race fans, stand on your feet, wave your hands, your hats, and your hankies. Street Stock A about to go racing. Wave at them as they wave at you. Just a quick notable, Floyd Wood in the 28, second quick on the day. Very impressive run for the 28 of Floyd Wood. Darrell Click was your fast timer. Tony Eldridge going to set him on their final pace lap, this time by front row. Sees it. White flag throughout the field. Huffman and Reed going to lead them to green off of turn 4. Should be a real barn burner. Keep your eye on the front row. Huffman and Reed. Looks to be a great start off of turn 4. Green flag. We're racing in the Pro Motor Street Stock AMA on Napa Night. Side by side, door to door, down the billboard backstretch. 3 wide down the billboard backstretch. Summers backs out. Let's Best have the position. Your outside car of Reed had the advantage there at the line the last time by. Huffman now fights back on the inside line. Door to door nearly all through the field. Keep an eye on Floyd Wood. Wood is up on the outside line and has moved to mid-pack. Wood was second quick, started at the back. He's found his way to mid-pack. Huffman, now your race leader. Huffman moves into first. The battle for second between Michael Bess and Steve Reed. Reed slowly slipping back on the outside. Summers pushing Bess, trying to make the move to get on past the 33 of Steve Reed. Bess moves into second. Summers now moves himself into third. Here comes Sweet Lou Strimmy in the 53 to the inside of the 33 of Reed. Nick Pressler rounds out your top 5. Bess now makes a bid for the race lead on the high line. Michael Bess on the high line trying to get around the 54 of Randy Huffman. Door to door into turn 1, off of turn 2. Door to door, they pull off of 2. Caution coming out. This time by Eldridge, going to put them on their final pace lap. Huffman, your race leader. Bess second. Summers in third. Strimmy fourth. And Pressler rounding out your top 5. Huffman picks up the pace down the backstretch. Bess drives right into the back of him. Green flag coming out. Summers looks to the inside of Bess off of turn 2. Bess goes to the high line. Summers fills the low line. Bess slips up. Summers takes over the second spot. There comes Strimmy. Strimmy now looks to the inside. Summers looks to the outside for the race lead. Pressler dives to the inside of the 25 of Michael Bess. Randy Huffman continues to hold down the race lead. Summers working the outside. Here comes Lou Strimmy to the inside. Battle for the 4th position. Pressler on the inside. Bess on the outside. Here comes Bobby Schisler to the party. Door to door into turn 1. Josh Summers fighting for the top spot. Randy Huffman has it. Summers wants it. Strimmy sets in third. Door to door off turn 4. Summers with a slight advantage off of turn 2. Strimmy in third. Pressler runs fourth. Schisler's moved to the top 5. Here comes Austin Maynard and Al Maurer. Summers going to take over the top spot off of turn 2. Lou Strimmy goes to the high line. Strimmy now trying to make his move to the front. Summers, your new race leader, as we clock in lap 14. Lou Strimmy now into second. Huffman fighting for the third position. Pressler on the outside. Rounding out your top 5, the 17 of Bobby Schischler. Halfway up, halfway home. Summers and Strimmy trying to break away. Meanwhile, Strimmy looks to the inside. Nose to tail for the race lead. Further back, Randy Huffman holding down the third spot. Pressler sliding back on the outside. Here comes Schischler for fourth. Caution coming out. "16 laps are in, 14 more to go." Tony Eldridge going to set him on their final pace lap. Josh Summers leads. Lou Strimmy second. Randy Huffman running a great race in third. Fourth to the 17 of Bobby Schischler, and your top 5 is rounded out by the 29 of Austin Maynard. Summers setting the pace off of turn 4. Green flag, back to racing in your Pro Motor Street Stock A-Main. Bobby Schischler wasting no time, jumps to the high line, trying to make his move around the 54. Randy Huffman into third for Schischler. "17 in, 13 to go." Prescott and Al Maurer battle for the 6th position. Maurer on the high line, Prescott on the low line. Austin Maynard shoots to the high line, making his bid for the 4th spot, trying to get around the 54 of Randy Huffman. 3-car breakaway. Summers, Strimmy, and Schischler. Schischler trying to find the line to get around the 53 of Lou Strimmy. Meanwhile, Strimmy searches for a way around the 32 of Summers. Strimmy looks to the inside. Nothing doing. Josh Summers holds him off. Further back, your fast qualifier, Darrell Click, trying to make his move into the top 5. Mike Prescott now moves into 5th. Here comes Click in 6th. Josh Summers continues to lead with 22 in and 8 to go. Strimmy, a little bumper tag into the back left rear of the 32 of Summers. Strimmy slices to the bottom, trying to get to the inside of the 32. He's there, noses to the door, holds his line into 3. New race leader, the 53S of Lou Strimmy. Summers slides up in 3 and opens the door. "24 in, 6 to go." Strimmy, your race leader. Summers second, Schischler third, Maynard fourth, Prescott fifth. 5 more laps to go. Bobby Schischler now pursues the inside line of the 32 of Josh Summers. Strimmy out in clean air. Summers drops the left side off down in 1 and 2. "27 laps are in." Schischler now looks to the inside. Summers slips up a little bit, but shuts the door. Schischler with a love tap to the back bumper. Summers loose down in 3 and 4. 2 more laps to go. Huffman slides into the infield. Out of harm's way. Schischler again looks to the inside. Summers slams the door. A little bumper tag again from the 17 of the bad boy. White flag onto the speedway. Lou Strimmy with about a 4-car length advantage over the 32 of Josh Summers. Schischler again to the inside. Summers shuts the door. Checkered flag onto the speedway. Coming home 5th, the 84 of Mike Prescott. Fourth, the 29 of Austin Maynard. Third, the 17 of Schischler. Second to the 32 of Josh Summers. Pulling into victory lane. He's got the car shut off. Helmets off. Earplugs are out. Put your hands together for the winner of the Pro Motor Street Stock A-Main. Driver the 53 is Lou Strimmy. Lou, you pull the 53 into victory lane on Napa Night. You pick up a nice piece of hardware. You got a nice looking hat there to wear.
I need it for my bald head.
And you did it in style. You waited patiently. You got underneath Josh Summers in the 32, a nice clean pass, and you find yourself in victory lane.
Yeah, I really wanted to pass Josh clean. I didn't want to touch him. I don't like to bump anybody. I don't like to race that way. I don't like to be raced that way. And he slipped up going into 1. I don't know if you noticed, and I got a run on him. And when we come down into 3, he come down. I don't know if he was trying to hold me tight or what. But we bumped just a little. I'm glad he ended up second, or I thought he was second. What happened? He get spun on the last lap or something?
Maybe extracurriculars.
Oh, anyway, like I said, I've had some eye operations, and I don't know if you've seen, I run down in the middle and in the infield down there and down here, and I try to stay down the best I can, but I hope Donnie gets better lights or I'm going to have to retire or something.
Well, Lou, as always, it's always great to see you out here. You always put on a good race and a good show for the fans. Congratulations. You pull the 53S into victory lane, pick up a nice trophy on Napa Night, and you get to celebrate with your crew.
Well, I was my only crew tonight until my boy showed up with his sons and that, so me and Kim Coleman will celebrate and try to find Shannon. And my buddy Jesse Rush, maybe he can come out of retirement and come back and race again. If he sees the old guys can do it, he can do it.
Again, a big congratulations going out to tonight's Pro Motor Street Stock A-Main winner on Napa Night, the 53S of Sweet Lou Strimmy. All right, your lineup looks to be set for tonight's Scott's Computer World Mini Stock A-Main. On the front row, driving car number 49, he's Paul Davis. On the outside, the number 60 of Matt McGee. Second row, inside the 89 of Marcus Vitale. On the outside, the 14 of Mr. Friendly Kevin Grubb. Third row, inside the 2 of Kurt Grubb. And on the outside, the 4J of Josh Elliott. Third row inside the 03 of BJ Blair. And on the outside, the 4X of Tony Elliott. Fifth row inside the 34 of Mark Hughes. And on the outside, the 69 of Eric Frazier. Sixth row inside the 37 of the little guy, Josh Dunnick. To his right door, the 96 of Ryan McKinney. Seventh row inside the 21 of Bobby Lauder. And on the outside, the fast qualifier on the day, the number 9 of Gentleman Jim Engelmeyer. Rounding out your field, the 31 of Craig Johnson, the 19 of Jared Rogers, and out back, not qualifying on the day or racing a heat race, the 13 of Squidward, Michael Landry. "17 cars getting set and ready to go. 20 laps of tonight's A-Main. This time by race fans, stand up, give them the wave, put them. All right, Terry, I see you waving. Wave at them while they wave at you. Terry Hughes decked out with her Kermit the Frog hat, ready to see her brother Mark hop to the front. "17 competitors getting ready to be put on their final pace lap. Looking to pick up the win tonight and win another fine trophy. Sponsored by Jenkins Napa Automotive." Sending out a great big thank you to Napa Automotive and Jenkins for sponsoring tonight's events as well as the races in 2012. We're set and ready to go racing in your mini stock A main. Green flag. 3 wide down into turn 1. Mr. Friendly Kevin Grubb moves to the inside. Matt McGee on the high line. Grubb looking for the race lead. Off of 4. Paul Davis going to lead lap number 1. 3 wide down into turn 1. Caution coming out. Matt McGee up on 2 wheels and pinned up against the wall. Word from the scene is driver is A-OK. Tony Eldridge puts them on their final pace lap. Davis and Vitale going to lead us back to green flag racing off turn 4. Back to green flag racing. Kurt Grubb goes to the high line, makes his bid for the race lead. Inside, Marcus Vitale. 3 wide down into turn 3. Quite a gaggle up front racing for the lead. Grubb into the wall in the front stretch. BJ Blair on the high line makes his bid for the top spot. Kevin Grubb goes around down the front stretch. Your top 5 going to look like this. Your current race leader, the 89 of Marcus Vitale. Second to the 03 of PJ Blair. Mark Hughes finds himself 3rd. The 37 of the little guy, Josh Dunick, 4th. 49 of Paul Davis, 5th. Your fast qualifier on the day, gentlemen, Jim Engelmeyer. It's moved all the way up to 6th. Squidward, Michael Landry in 7th. Bobby Lauder, 8th. Kurt Grubb, 9th. Rounding out your top 10, the Napa sponsor, number 19 of Jared Rogers. 11th to the 31 of Craig Johnson. Then the 4J of Josh Elliott. 69 of Eric Frazier. 4X of Tony Elliott. Rounding out the field, Mr. Friendly Kevin Grubb in the 14. Well, we got 2 laps in. 18 to go. Tony Eldridge puts them on their final pace lap. Light is off, and we are ready to go back to green flag racing off of turn 4. Marcus Vitale sets the pace. Green flag flies. BJ Blair goes to the top line. Mark Hughes goes to the low line. Each driver going to take a shot at the leader, Marcus Vitale in the 89. Blair Blair trying to find a way around on the outside. Blair door to door. Hughes patiently waits on the bottom. Here comes the little guy, Josh Dunick, up top. Blair loose off turn 4. Still a race for the top spot. Blair and Vitale door to door. Dunick, Hughes trying to push the issue. Each one playing a little bit of bumper tag. Keep your eye on the front running group. Your second row being very patient, waiting, trying to let the guys race for the top spot. Meanwhile, here comes the 21 of Bobby Lauder. Lauder joins the top 7. Still door to door, down into turn 1, side by side. First through 6, Squidward runs 7th. Pretty neat little battle for the race lead. Marcus Vitale continuing to hold him at bay. BJ Blair continuing to hold the up line. Vitale gains a slight advantage. Hughes trying to help push him through. Dunick goes way high, looking to the outside. 3 wide down into turn 1. Mark Hughes squeezes in the middle. BJ Blair just flat spins him out. Not sure what Blair was thinking, but he flat pounded the 34, takes him around and takes him out. Man, we had a good run going until that. Lineup looks good. Going to set them on their final pace lap. This time by 8 laps in, 12 to go. Craziness breaking out in the mini sack division. Trophy on the line. Napa Automotive. Night at the Races 2012. Marcus Vitale is your race leader. Off of turn number 4. Green flag, back to racing. Little guy, Josh Dunick, to the high line, looking for the race lead. Dunick with a slight advantage into turn 3. Vitale fights back on the bottom. Your leader on lap number 9, the little guy, Josh Dunick. Here comes the number 9 of your fast qualifier, gentleman Jim Engelmeyer with Squidward in tow. Dunick, Engelmeyer, Landry, Vitale, and Lauder, your top 5. Frazier runs 6th. Mark Hughes making a bad dash from the back of the pack. Caution comes out. Lineup looks good. We're going to put them on their final pace lap. Dunick, the leader. Engelmeyer, 2nd. Landry, 3rd. Vitale, 4th. Lauder, 5th. Frazier. Then Elliott. Rogers. Grubb. Hughes. Davis. Johnson. Blair. And Elliott. Ten in, 10 to go. Dunick brings this back to green flag racing. The little guy holding off the number 9, a gentleman, Jim Engelmeyer. Engelmeyer, quick time on the day, looks to the high line. 3 wide down the billboard backstretch. Tony Elliott slices through the middle. Keep an eye on the race for your lead. Dunick continues to hold him off, but Engelmeyer really working the high line. Squidward, Michael Landry going to fill the low line. Engelmeyer on the outside. Nearly door to door with the little guy. Engelmeyer scored as your race leader that time by. Engelmeyer trying to gain the advantage into turn 3. Dunick continues to fight back. Engelmeyer. Gentleman Jim holds down the top spot, this time by 5 laps to go. Engelmeyer, Dunick, and Landry. Lauder and Frazier rounding out your top 5. A 5-car breakaway. Your front 5 still unchanged. Engelmeyer leads Dunick, then Landry, then Lauder, then Eric Frazier. 6 to the 4J of Josh Elliott. Mark Hughes has found his way back to the 7th position. Eighth to the 89 of Marcus Vitale. 9th to the 4X of Tony Elliott. Rounding out your top 10 to 19 of Jared Rogers. One more lap to go for your race leader, gentlemen, Jim Engelmeyer. Off of turn 4, checkered flag will fly for the number 9 of gentleman, Jim Engelmeyer. Coming home second, the 37 of the little guy, Josh Dunick. Third to the 13 of Squidward, Michael Landry. Fourth to the 21 of Bobby Lauder. And fifth to the 69 of Eric Frazier. Coming home the victor in tonight's Scott's Computer World Mini Stock A-Main on Napa Night. Making his second or third return to the New Paris Speedway here in 2012 in his own ride. The number 9, he's up, he's out of the car. Put your hands together for gentleman Jim Engelmeyer. Well, Jim, you get a victory bath as well as I do. You put together a great run today. You picked up fast time. Napa's going to present you with a beautiful trophy for picking up the A-Main tonight. A nice hat. And a great way to return to victory lane in your own car, Jim.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was a little disappointed a couple weeks ago. Of course, the car's been set for a long time and had a lot of help. Dave Castle helped me out a bunch tonight. And just glad to be back. It's been a long summer not racing. My brother built the motor, and he does an awesome job. And Laverne's Custom Service is my dad, and he helps me out. So just like to say thanks to everybody.
Well, you look good tonight, Jim. You patiently worked the outside line. You brought it to the front. You pick up the win tonight on Napa Night, a nice trophy. We're going to let you celebrate with your fans.
Get our picture.
All right, thanks.
I gotta have that.
Yeah.